Yes, sir.
Okay. Today's our assignment.
Muted.
We'll see how to make a classes and objects as per the business requirement. I explain my requirement. My requirement is I want to create a two reports. Report one with article label, year, quantity sold and amount sold. Report two article label, year, promotion cost. And for that you imported four tables into the universe. In the universe you have a four tables now. Now I am trying to execute my first requirement for article label. Article label is there in article lookup, and amount sold, quantity sold is there in soft fact, and calendar year is there in the year lookup, calendar year lookup. As per the requirement, if you want to take a data from three tables, you need to create a joins. If you want to create a join between any two tables, the two tables must have at least one common column, and that column must be a primary and foreign key in two tables. Now, when you see this article lookup and calendar year lookup, article lookup have an article ID, and calendar year lookup you don't have any common column. But in that case, what you need to do is, if you don't have any direct column between two tables, you need to think about other tables. See, in article, then let's next our alternative is, we'll see the matching columns between article lookup and soft fact. In article lookup you have article ID, and soft fact you have article ID. That's why I created the joins between article lookup and soft fact. And very next step, you see any matching columns between soft fact and calendar year lookup. There is a matching column between soft fact and calendar year lookup is article lookup week ID article lookup week ID, soft fact week ID is matching calendar year lookup week ID. So I created the join. These two joins, with the help of these three tables, you can satisfy your first requirement. And the second requirement for my second report is, they want to see article label, promotion cost, year from calendar year lookup. That is the case. What you need to do is, you just need to create a join and execute the second report. You need article label. That article label is there in article lookup, and promotion cost is there in the product promotion fact, and see the common column and create a join. Yes, you created the join. Again you want a year. If you want a year, just see the common column between product promotion fact and calendar year lookup, and recreate a join. I created the join between promotion fact as well as calendar year lookup. Now I make it four joins between four tables to satisfy two report requirements. This join and this join will satisfy the first report requirement, that is label, and amount sold, year. These two joins and these three tables will satisfy first report requirement. These two joins and these three tables will satisfy second report requirement, that is article label and promotion cost and year. These three tables and two joins will satisfy the second requirement. Yes, once you have imported the tables, once you have inserted the joins, very next step is you need to detect the cardinality. I'm just detecting the cardinality. It set a cardinality for all the joins. And very next step for designing universe is, you have done detect joins, detect cardinality. Very next step is you need to detect a loops. Once you detect a loop, if there is any loop, it will identify, it will enable that path, it's enabled that path. And when you see this loop, you have more than three tables and more than one fact table. For resolving that loop, you need to click on candidate context. Once you click on candidate context, I told you it will create two contexts now. The reason is, you have two fact tables in the loop. If you have three fact tables in the loop, that time it will create three contexts. Now I have two, that's why it's created two. I added that context. When you see this, when you execute first report, that time it enables three tables and two joins between that three tables, but this is disabled. This side two joins. This time the system can see only three tables and two joins while executing first report. that time you are satisfying referential integrity. Now the number of joins is less than number of tables, so it will satisfy referential integrity and it will fetch data for the first report. Second report, when you click on product promotion fact, it will take only these three tables this side and it will enable two joins. It will disable these two join lines there in this side. So this time the second report can see only three tables and two joins. That will satisfy your second report requirement. Second report requirement also. This is a way you can resolve the loops. That means if the loop is created more than three tables and more than one fact table, that can be resolved in a context. One context is a set of related joins to satisfy one business report requirement. This set of two joins will satisfy second business report requirement. Other set of two joins. These two set of joins will satisfy the first report business requirement. This is a way you can make a context. Yes, well and good, you created the context. Very next step in designing universe is you need to convert these tables into classes and these columns into objects. As per my business requirement, my customer is asking to display article underscore label as a model name, amount underscore sold as a sales revenue, product promotion underscore cost as promotion cost, calendar year YR as YER. That time what you need to do is, in the report, if they want to see label as a model name, you cannot rename that column name here. You cannot rename the column name here. That time what you need to do is just drag and drop article lookup into left side, and there you can see article label. Just double click on article label, rename this as model name as per the report requirement. Anyway, you are giving name as model name, but still the model name is communicating with the article lookup dot article label. Then click on apply, click on OK. It will create a object called as a model name, but user can see model name, but still that is taking data from article lookup dot article label. See, the model name object is mapped with the article lookup dot article label. Only the reason why you are creating classes and objects, as per the business requirement, they will ask us to display some other name in the report, but when you see in the column, you have some different names. That time you need to convert your column into object, your table into class. That is a case we call as the object is a replica of the column name, class is a replica of the table name. Now I just dragged and drop article underscore lookup into left side. This time it created article lookup class, that is replica of article underscore lookup. It created article ID and article label, category, sales price, family name, family code. These are all replica of the columns there in the article lookup table. In the left side we call as this, we call as a table, this we call as the column. That's why the definition of the class is replica of the table name you call as a class, replica of the object name you call as, replica of the column name you call as object. Object is only for renaming column names and applying formula for the column name. Now I have renamed article label as model name. That's good. You have renamed, that is fine. Next, you want a quantity sold and amount sold. Just drag and drop soft fact into this side. It will create one more class. In this class, you can see all the columns whatever there in the soft fact. Now you want amount sold, but my customer is asking to display this as a sales revenue. I'm just renaming my column name according to my requirement. Yes, I renamed. And in the properties, when you see sales revenue is a numeric column. If it is a numeric column, you need to measure in Vivo. Measure in Vivo, click on apply, click on OK. In Vivo, we have three kind of objects. Number one is called as a dimension. Number two is called as a measure, MEASURE, measure. Number three is called as a detail. If the column article label is character, if you are converting that as an object called as a model name, that time the model name object you need to set as a dimension. That means model name object is taking data from article label. Article label is a character object, character column in the table. If it is a character column, that time you need to make that object as a dimension. And your sales revenue is communicating with the soft fact dot amount sold. Amount sold is a numeric calculated column. That time that sales revenue you need to convert as a measure. Numeric calculator object always you need to convert as a measure. If the column is a detailed column, detailed column means long text column, that time you need to make that as a detailed object. Anyway, now article label is character, that's why I converted as a dimension, and amount sold and quantity sold is numeric values, that's why I am converting as a measure, and margin price also numeric value, you need to make that as a measure in the properties, apply. Okay, what I did is I just dragged and dropped soft fact into left side, and later I double clicked on that object. I renamed the object into according to my business requirement, means my report requirement, in the definition tab. In the properties, I just changed the qualification of the object. Now my object qualification is measure. The reason is margin price is a numeric value, and calendar year lookup also same. You just need to drag and drop. Once you drag and drop, it will create a class here. It will create a class here, class into this side. Once it created the class, your table will be converted as a class, and your table have a lot of columns. That columns will be converted as a objects. See, same way here in the calendar year lookup you have a YR column. That YR column is converted as YR object, but customer is asking to display as in the report YEAR year. Please convert YEAR. If you have a flexibility to convert in the table itself, that time it's very easy for us to rename here itself. But the reason is you cannot, it won't allow us to rename the column name in the table. That's why you are converting that column as an object and you are renaming according to your report requirement. In the table I have a YR, but report I want YER. That's why I converted that column as an object and renamed. And next, you want to create a class for product promotion fact also. Just take a product promotion fact. Take this class into this side, and if you want to make this as a main class, take into this, and I take into product promotion fact. Okay, it will organize according to your naming conventions. Okay, anyway, I created product promotion fact. When you see in the product promotion fact, you have a promotion cost here. Here also you have a promotion cost. I just need to change this as a measure. Go to properties, enable measure. The reason is promotion cost is a numeric value. If it is a numeric value, you need to convert that as a, if it is a numeric value, you need to convert that as a measure. If it is a character, you need to convert as a dimension. Dimensions always in blue color, measures always in pink color. And if you talk about color code is a detail long text. That time that color code column you need to convert as a detail for article label. I just converted color code into object. Go to properties, enable that as a detail, and associate with anyone label. I'm just converting into, I'm just want to convert as a detail object. When you convert this as a detail object, that will be appeared in the green color. Basically, color code is a long text object. If it is a long text in the database, you need to convert that as a detail objects in Vivo. That's why I'm converting model name as a detail object that I associate with the article lookup. When I drag and drop article name, means model name, it will come up with that color, whether it's a green color or red color or yellow color. So that time that will be in the green color. Total we created three kind of objects. Number one in the blue color, that we call as a dimension. Dimensions always map with the character values. Detail always map with the columns with the long text data type. And measures always in the pink color, that will talk with only numeric calculated values, is called as the measures. So when you see three objects, whenever you see the universe, one is in blue color dimension, that means character. Green color, that you can see in the green color, that is a long text. Pink color or orange color, that is your numeric calculated numbers, amount sold, quantity sold, margin price. These are your measures. Company ID, company name, employee ID, employee name, and state ID, state name. These are all character values. That all we call as a dimensions. If you want to give a comments on employee, you need to write a long text sentences. That all will be like a green color, that we call as a detail objects. Okay, this is a way you can create a objects and classes in Vivo. Once you created your classes and objects, very next step is you need to test your universe, whether you created the universe on as per the standards. If you have created on as per the standards, then you can save and distribute. Then people can use your universe to create a report. Now let me test my universe. If you want to test your universe, you need to go to tools. There you have a check integrity. You just need to confirm yourself whether you created all your tables and joins and all classes and objects as per the requirement. That time you need to check as per the syntax you created that objects. You need to go to tools for testing that syntax. You need to go to tools. There you have a check integrity. You just need to enable check all, check cardinality. Now click on OK. This time what the system will do, it will test each and every object what you created here. If there is an error, it will identify an error. For example, let me take one model name object. In the model name object, my object data type I put character, but when you see my model name is communicating with article label. Article label is a C, character. Both data types are matching, but unfortunately I changed the data type of my object into number. But when you see, the model name is taking data from article lookup dot article label column. If you want to see data type of article lookup dot article label column, in the select class you need to click on two right arrows. Here you have a two right arrows. When you click on that, you can see the table name here, article label. You are mapping the model name with the article lookup dot article label column. When you see article lookup dot article label column is character, but when you see here the object data type is number. That means object is number object you are mapping with the character column. That time both data types are not matching. That time it will throw an error. Now see, I just applied. I just click on OK. This time I am testing tools, check integrity. This time it will throw an error. One error for model name. One error for the model name. The error is, when you see the error, it shows article lookup / model name parse failed. The expression type is not compatible with the object type. That says your article lookup dot article label column is in character, but you made model name object as a number. Both are not matching. That means it validated the syntax and it's throwing an error if syntax is not, if you have not created the object as per the standards. Now good, then this is the case. What you need to do is you just need to click on article lookup dot and it will take you into the definition. First see your object definition in the definition tab. Your object is model name, data type is number, and go to select class 2 arrows, click on 2 arrows, see your column data type. Your column data type is character. This time what you need to do is you need to click on OK, then come back to the object definition, change data type as a character, click on parse. Now it's validating, click on apply, click on OK. Now we change the data type of that object, then go to tools, check integrity, click on OK. Now again it will validate. It says there is no error. It says there is no error. There is no error. There is no warning message. That means you created all the objects as per the syntax. Sometimes, unfortunately, we will create a join between wrong column. See, I am creating a join between article lookup dot article ID equal to product promotion fact dot week ID equal to product promotion dot week ID. That means I created the wrong join now. This time what it will do, you know, tools, check integrity, click on OK. It will test all the objects and it will give a check cardinality 1 divergence. The divergence is, see, here it says article lookup dot article ID. You mapped the product promotion fact dot week ID unknown cardinality. That means you created the wrong join. When you double click, it will take you into this browser. See, when you double click on error, I'm just double clicking on error, it's taking you into the table browser. There you can see the join between article lookup and the product promotion fact. Article lookup you selected article ID, but promotion fact unfortunately you selected week ID. So you created unmatching column, join between unmatching columns. That's why it's throwing an error. The resolution for this error is you just need to select matching columns, click on OK, again test it, tools, check integrity, click on OK. It will test, it will, so there is no errors, all are passing fine. If all objects and all conditions, all joins, all loops are parsing, that time you need not to worry about that. If there is any error in the check integrity, that time please go back and check the syntax of that particular object. And same way, unfortunately you created the joins, you forgot to resolve the loops, you haven't created any context. I just removed the context. This time when you see tools, check integrity, when you click on OK, this time it will check even loops also. See, here it says check loop, there is a one loop, you forgot to find out the loop. The loop is there between article lookup, soft fact, calendar year lookup, product promotion fact and article lookup. It says there is a loop. When you click here, it will identify the loop. It will identify the loop as well as check integrity. That means it's mandatory to resolve the loop before exporting the universe. It says there is a one loop. Yes, one loop. And when you enable this, no solved by any context. That means it identified the loop and it's giving an instruction for us. This can be resolved with the context, but you are not resolved to any context. But you have not resolved any context. This time, just click on here. It will take you into the loop. It will enable the loop. Once it enabled, you need to go to tools, automated detection, detect loops, and it says no context is covered. Click on candidate context, add it, again add this, click on OK, click on close. Now you added two context. This time when you go to tools, automated detection, detect loops, no loops, and then you need to go to tools, check integrity, check now. There is no errors. This check integrity is basically to validate your syntaxes of joins, objects, loops, and all whatever you created in the universe. You need not to test one by one object. You need not to test one by one join. The system itself tests all the objects, whatever you created in the universe, and if it is identified any syntax errors, it will throw an error. You just need to resolve that error. That is what you are going to do with the check integrity. Check integrity is basically for testing. Okay, you tested your universe. You have done 7th step. Total how many steps you have done now till now? You know, defining parameters. Defining parameters means you give the universe name, connection. Import tables. You imported 4 tables as per 2 requirements. Yes, you imported the tables. Number 3, define joins. You made a joins between these 4 tables as per the requirement. Number 4, detect loops. You detect the loops, and you detect the loops, and it identify the loop that you resolve with the context. The reason is you have more than 3 tables and more than 1 fact table. Then very next step, you created the classes and objects, and 6th step you test the universe, and very next step you need to make hierarchies. What do you mean by hierarchies? Now let me create a report on top of this universe. If you want to create a universe, if you want to create a report on top of this universe, the mandatory is you need to go to file, save. When you save, it will save the universe in the local folder is called as the once installed BO in your local system. It will create a one folder called as universes folder. It will save in your local system universes folder. Once you click save, it will save in the local system in your universes folder. Then later, if you want to distribute this universe for everyone to create a report, you need to go to file, export, browse, and your server. In the server you have a folder name called as web by universes folder. Click on OK, click on OK. That means whatever the universe you created, that you exported to server. Now your universe is there in the server. If you want to create a report in BO, you have a multiple reporting tools, but now I am going to use a tool is called as a rich client to create a WebI report on top of this universe. Take Web Intelligence Rich Client. I am just selecting Web Intelligence Rich Client. Once you click on Web Intelligence Rich Client, it will open in your window. It will open in your window. This tool is basically to create a universe on top of, to create report on top of universe. Now I want to explain about hierarchies, why you need a hierarchies in the report. Then based on that, we will make hierarchies in the universe. Okay, before creating hierarchies, let me explain about my calendar year lookup. In my calendar year lookup, you just need to organize your object. First, please make year into first, then quarter into next level, and month into next level, then week into the next level, then holiday into next level. As per my requirement, I want only these 5 objects for my report requirement. Remove other objects. Okay, you have only 5 objects in the calendar year lookup, that is year, quarter, month, week, day. Save. The reason is I don't want other objects in the report. That's why I removed the unnecessary objects. I'm keeping only required objects in the class. And click on export, click on OK. Once you exported, Universe will be exported to your server. Then compatibly you can create a report on top of that Universe. If you want to create a report on top of Universe, connect with the rich client. Now I am trying to create a report on top of Universes. Then select, click on Universes. Then enter your username, password. Then click on login. Once you click on login, it will display the available universes in the server. You exported the universes to the dev server, as well as you are creating a report on top of dev server. In the dev server, you have a universe name called as universe 2 that you exported to the web universes folder. This is our universe. Just select that universe. Once you select that universe, now you can see whatever the classes and objects you build in the report level, universe level. See, my class, I have a year. I want a year. As well as in this class, I have a sales revenue. I want a sales revenue to create a report. Just drag and drop year and sales revenue. Run the query. Now the report will display year-wise sales revenue, whatever the data there in the backend. Year-wise sales revenue, whatever the data there in the backend. See, it displaying only 2005 year. The reason is I have only 2005 data in the backend. Okay, that's fine. Then, if you want to drill, my customer is asking, yes, you are displaying a report with the year-wise sales. Why don't you give a chance for me to navigate from year to quarter, quarter to month, month to week? That time what you need to do is, you need to enable a drill. In the analysis pane, there is an option called as a drill. There is an option called as a drill. You just need to enable drill. When you enable drill, it will create a hyperlink for year. If this time user clicks on here, it will go to what? Next level. In the next level, when you see time period, when you see in the next level in the time period, when you go to Universe Design, the next level for the time period year is quarter. It will go to quarter. When you click on all years, it will display all quarters anyway. I'm just selecting 2005, I have only 2005. Again, when you click on quarter 1, it will go to months there in the quarter. I have a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Again, when you click on month, it will go to week. When you click on week,